Going. Oh snap!
Let's get a zoom in on that. We can get a zoom in on that for all the people.
JQ representing the Ohio State
Showing off his
University.
Ohio
Yeah,
State.
come on.
Give me a Beyonce wind tone. Just blowing it, let my hair go out to the side.
Oh, we love it. Hey, everyone, welcome, of course, to another amazing edition of Talkin Sports with the 12th Man. We've been on a brief hiatus. I'll kick the music down
like
just
a
a little
month
bit
off.
because I don't want.
Yeah, it's been wild.
We did.
Sorry, people. We
did.
normally don't
We
take
did.
this much time off.
Yeah, I think it's our longest break we've ever taken.
It is.
Yeah, we may be taking a week or two at a time, but never a month. It's like 4 weeks.
2 weeks max.
Mm-hmm.
But we're sorry, people. I'm sure y'all understand. We got family and jobs and holidays and New Year's and all that good stuff. I hope everybody had a good time since the last time we talked to y'all. I've had a great time, y'all. So I'm gonna have me a little sippy sip before we go into this show in the championship game. But let's get it, Dre. Let's go.
He's mile high, man. JQ is way up here right now with Ohio State playing in the national championship game.
This big old head. I'm here in Atlanta, but yeah, they won't tax refund money for those tickets, fellas. And I just.
Hey,
America,
somebody wants to give
tell him his pocket
JQ
change for him, but you know,
don't
you don't want to do it.
Don't y'all listen to that shit. Don't you listen to it.
Oh my goodness.
Pocket change is JQ's middle name.
No.
That's right. That's right.
Not according to
Keep it real, JQ.
Andre,
we are having fun.
Been to Austria, been to Germany.
What?
That's you. That ain't me.
It was fun whenever we were talking about JQ, not Dre.
Yeah, I bet it was. I was like, hey, we ain't talking about me. Dude, I've been here go US today.
Oh goodness gracious! Yeah, that was fun. We took a little trip, and we'd been planning for that for obviously.
With the Salzburg, Dre?
We didn't hit Salzburg. We just literally stayed in. We were close. We were close. I'm gonna butcher the name of the town, so I'm not even gonna try the name of the town. But we were basically probably like 20 minutes away from Salzburg, from where we were too. So, skiing, snowboarding, all that fun stuff.
Nice.
Had a chance to do some sneakers. Had a chance to just embrace the culture. Drove, obviously in the snow, which was a whole nother experience. Poor Marcy, she had some fun and some challenges too. But I was like, yeah, it was fun. It was.
Man, there's snow everywhere up here where I'm at right now, Bozeman, Montana.
Wow.
Snow everywhere.
We're gonna talk about that later. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. And I did have to DJ on Saturday, believe it or not. My shout out to my bride, because poor thing was a wreck during the week, and she didn't think anyone was going to show up. I think 150 people came out, so really kudos everyone showed up. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to be there. Yeah, no matter what. And I was in like Dawsonville, Georgia.
Oh, I got a lot of people that's from up north. A little snow is not going to bother
me. Man. Yeah, I mean, but Georgia is not conditioned to do that. So let's just keep it a buck, man, as they say, man. We're not conditioned at all, man.
Atlanta had 4 snow trucks. What year was Snowmageddon? Was that 2020, 2019, 2021?
No, you mean when 25 shut down with the ice and whatnot?
That's when all those people were stuck on the interstate for
that's before then. That's almost been like 10 years ago, Rob.
Well, it's 10 years been that long ago?
I agree, yeah.
They say Atlanta had 4 snow trucks back then when Snowmageddon hit. Yeah. But now they have 40.
Yeah. But that's almost 10 years ago. But yeah, it wasn't that bad. And shout out to her though. At least Saturday it warmed up a little bit to help the roads out. Well, at least here in Metro Atlanta. I don't know what happened in Dawsonville.
It did. But they were strictly like, yo, don't go out there. And they couldn't really say that. The roads weren't that bad, but they couldn't really say don't go, because they're like, hey, y'all to stay home. You don't have to be there. Don't go out. So it worked out for me. It was nice. The roads had to be careful. And
John Morant dunked over Victor Wembanyama. Y'all see that?
Rob is having some fun over there, man. Hey, this is Talkin Sports with 12 Men here. Let's get this party started. We're going to do a brief condensed show because we couldn't get our main guy, Gary, on. But that's okay. We'll kind of reconvene next week. Happy New Year, as JQ was talking about. Let's do a quick check-in with you guys. How you feeling, JQ? You feeling all right? Ohio
You already
State.
know. You already know. You already know. I'm ready to go. Don't mean nothing if they don't win it on Monday. Lou Holtz shit talking ass. So
They got that.
yeah,
Ohio State gonna win that game. They got too much talent compared to Notre Dame.
But they talking so much noise. Malik Zaire talking reckless, and then now Lou Holtz talking reckless. I was like, what is going on? When did Notre Dame start talking junk? Like they should be quiet and try to just show up and take you. Listen, when they play Miami, the Miami was the one talking junk, right? Like they normally just try to fly under the radar. Now they're talking a lot of trash. So we'll see what it is. I'm not mad at them, but
Notre Dame and Miami back there today. That was the Catholics versus convicts.
Yes, sir. Miami did all the talking, and Notre Dame stayed on the radar. That's what it was like.
JQ, how old is Lou Holtz, man? That dude, man, he's still. I'm not trying to say anything, but man, he's still.
Listen. Him and Ryan Day have a beef since we had that home and home against each other, and they just have not settled it. And he said, "Well, I was gonna stay home, and now, I'm gonna fly down so I can see it in person." I was like, "Wow."
Lou Holtz is 88 to answer your question, Joey.
I could have swore that dude's been like 100, man. But like, yeah, they're just so great. They're just so amazing. I don't even know why can we even compete on the same field? Like, always, I don't know. Like, he feels like he's been around for a long time. I'm probably not alone out there. I'm probably not alone.
I'm not trying to mess up my juju by talking about Lou Holtz no more. So
I know. I just didn't expect. That's on me. I'll take that one. I'm like, man, he's talking junk. Okay, Lou. 88. Okay. Thank you for that, Rob. All right, Rob, how you feeling, Rob? Bozeman, Montana.
Hey, man. Doing great, man. Let's get this party started. I'm inside right now, so I'm feeling great.
I'm just happy you made it safely, man. So, like you said, everyone, we thank you for tuning in to this abridged version of Talkin Sports 12 Man. Let's do some quick chats. Like you said, we're going to talk about some NFL playoff predictions for this weekend, and I know we all have some great commentary, right? Because obviously, Rob, we appreciate you posting your sports talk minutes on the page. I know you had a couple predictions that didn't go quite your way, and we're going to talk about the first game because we got the Commanders at the Lions. And Jaden Daniels is this dude is just, looking like, obviously he's going to, I think he's going to get
beyond his years.
Yeah. And all the work he's putting in, and that dude is like looking like he's unstoppable, so what a great game. Obviously Baker Mayfield has that fumble, which kind of, obviously hurts them and they didn't get a chance to make it, but the Commanders, and there's a lot of storylines with this, man. So we'll talk about that. But they are going against the, David versus Goliath. Now you got the Lions. So this is a real physical team. I don't think you're going to get away with running as you did before. If you are, the Commanders. What is in store for this particular game, Rob? And I'll let you kind of lead off with this. And like I said, I think the Lions are ready and waiting. If I can talk straight. So go ahead, my guy.
Yeah, I know you guys know I'm rooting for Jaden Daniels, right? I mean, kid went to LSU, mature beyond his years, right? And I just like the way he carries himself as a human being as well. You can see he's like a devout believer as well, too, right? And he's just a mature leader beyond his years. I'm making a prediction in this game. I mean, I like to see the Commanders win, but I think the Lions are going to win this game. I just think the Lions offensively is just too strong and too deep. I mean, they're just they get David Montgomery back this week, so they're going to have that 1-2 punch element back at the running back position with Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's all fired up that the Commanders drafted Dewami Brown ahead of him too. He's going to be motivated. And then, they got Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. They got one of the better offensive line in the leagues. It's going to be tough for anybody to keep the Lions from scoring more than 30 points. The only way you're going to beat the Lions is you're going to outscore them. And they're banged up on the defensive side of the football. We know that, right? Aaron Glenn has done a phenomenal job with that team, helping them to be competitive. I thought the last game of the regular season against the Vikings, they were incredible on defense, even with all the personnel changes and injuries that they had. And look, I think they're going to win this game. I'm going to go 33-20 Lions in this football game. And look, I think Washington is competitive for 2.5 to 3 quarters in this game. But I just think the Lions are going to be too strong in the end, and they'll pull this game out over the Commanders. Like I said, I like to see Jaden Daniels win, but give him some more time. This Lions team offensively is just too deep and talented.
Yeah, I mean, I would be tempted because I'm a degenerate to take Washington with I think it's like 8.5 in there, but I just don't see them winning this game outright.
Yeah.
They listen, he is. You said that he's so mature beyond his years. Like he didn't even look at the field goal go in or react to it hitting the upright. Like he was just on to the next one. So Washington definitely has their quarterback, but if you look at what they have, his weapons, like his running back game is like a junior varsity version of Detroit's running game, right? Like you give them Eckler and Robinson, do you look at Gibbs and then you're like, oh, well, I give that one to Detroit. And I just don't think they have enough weapons outside for Jaden yet to compete with Detroit. Like you love Terry McLaurin, but Detroit would get Arnold healthy as well out there. And, they just are going to have the ability. And Detroit might have the best safeties on defense, like they can out there, like they have, they've got injuries in that front seven, especially defense fan, that broke his leg from Michigan with say punk asses, but they still have one of the best.
Abe Hutchinson is his name.
Yeah, but they quietly have maybe the best set of safeties in the league. So when you have they're playing a team that has one primary weapon on the outside, Terry McLaurin, but they don't have another proven to me. Zach Ertz is older. I think they can control him in the middle, but another weapon outside to take pressure off McLaurin, I don't think they have it quite yet. And they're playing this game in Detroit, and that crowd is going to be raucous for that game. I think Washington is ahead of the curve where we thought they would be. I think they put a decent show on that, but I just can't see them going to Detroit and winning.
No. Yeah, agreed.
Aiden Hutchinson, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be funny. He's a monster, but I don't care about him in that school. I just had a brain fart right there, but they just don't.
There's a small chance that if the Lions make it to the Super Bowl, he may be back, which would be incredible. I mean, that's hard to believe. When you look at that injury,
before you do that, you got to think about that dude long term.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a beast, man. You don't want to set him back and that organization back from the defensive side of the football.
Especially when they have gotten that far without him. Like, it'd be a great story, but like if something happens to him and he's missed the next year because you rushed him back for the Super Bowl when you've gotten there without him, that's a tough sell. It's hard. You got to look out for that young man's future.
Yep.
Guys, this is tough because
a former Michigan Wolverine player, right?
No, Aiden's a monster now. Listen, he's a monster. You got to give him credit is due.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
This is tough because it feels like everyone's going Lions, but the Commanders, they don't even know any better, So can the Lions be beat? I think any team can be beat on any Sunday. I'm not going to bet my mortgage in it. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like, just pump the brakes a little bit, because Jaden is, you got a special dude. You do. Again. You got it. Well, we'll see how, like I said, I mean, everyone's leaning Lions, and I get it, because they've been the team. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna be the just to kind of go against the grain, like we'll see, because like right now.
Are you picking the Commanders?
No,
they can be beat, man.
No, he ain't.
Be beat.
Well, who you picking?
The Lions.
The Lions.
Oh, okay.
I'm committing the Commanders in an upset. I'm going. Let's go. No. Let's do it.
Are you really picking the Commanders?
Let's do it. I'm picking the Commanders. Everyone's going to Lions, man. I'm just saying, we'll see, man.
He's going with the Commanders. Y'all heard it, America.
I'm just, I'm
going against every I just don't see it happening. I'm pulling for the Commanders.
I mean, I'm just saying because like we've put these great situations up as far as hey, this and this and that, but the Lions can be beat too. I mean, obviously, we talk about certain things in Division 2, so. And you have a team that is on a Cinderella run. I don't know. Does the buck stop here? Are they young? Like they've hit some serious challenges, and this guy's been playing well. Like I said, it's a little scary whenever it's all one side. Like it can happen. I think it can happen. So we'll see.
Yep.
I'm not betting
5 games in a row by like 3 points or less. The Jaden Daniels' composure under pressure and those kind of games have been incredible. Like we said, beyond his years, he's definitely going to be the offensive rookie of the year in the National Football League. You saw Bo Nix have a stretch for like 5 or 6 weeks where it looked like he was gaining on Jaden, But at the end of the season, Jaden pulled away again and went another level. And he's clearly the offensive rookie of the year in the National Football League this year. There's no doubt about it. So
when you have your college wide receivers, one of which plays for your arch rival, show up to your game and cheer for you the way they did, it tells you everything you need to know about Jane Daniels.
Yep. Both of them. Yep.
Good deal. Gentlemen,
all the way from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Malik Neighbors. They both were there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas showed up too.
LSU is LSU is becoming like wide receiver man. Just draft the LSU wide receiver, man. You guys
I'm going to need you to calm down.
Second to Ohio State. My bad. I'm going to show you some love.
Come on. The best two receivers in the league right now are
Listen.
One of them is on your team, JQ and Jabbar.
I understand all of that.
So the best two receivers in the league right now went to LSU, and Justin Jefferson and Chase, right? And you got two of the best young receivers in the league went to LSU.
So we're going to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. and Jigba and Lobby and all the boys that went the first round. We ain't going to talk about them.
No. Ohio State's number 2, though. I give Ohio State.
No. Hell no.
You got the top two receivers in the league went to LSU, Justin Jefferson and Chase.
Let's move on.
I was not trying to cause controversy. I was just saying again, there's been a lot.
How can you argue with that, JQ? You got the top two receivers went to one school.
All right, let's move on. For JQ has his love.
I know ain't neither one of them in the playoffs.
Oh,
they won a national championship.
That's all right.
Other guys you named didn't
name. Terry McLaurin still playing, ain't he? For the Commanders. Where he going?
He's still playing. Yeah.
Who is?
He's still playing. Yeah, I give that. But none of those wide receivers won a national championship in college at Ohio State.
That's facts.
One of my favorites.
You're gonna have to start now when Smith and Emeka Ibuka win a national championship this Monday night. In a few more years, if they perform, and then you can start talking that way.
I'm gonna talk that way right now.
Huge fan of Joey Galloway. Just by the way, just want to let you know that, man. That was my dude, man, too, as well, man. I was a huge fan, man. So just FYI, man. So, just respect. All right, bringing it up. Let's get to the next game. Slobber knocker, probably the best game, one of the best games of the weekend. You got the Ravens at the Bills here, and I know in your sports, Rob, you were saying you didn't really know who to pick because you were kind of going back and forth. Whoever loses may get the MVP. Whoever wins may get the MVP. You got two of the best here. The Bills had a running game. Oh, my God. We knew they had it. But, just right now, this shows you how complete they just completely destroyed the Broncos. So, JQ, you want to take this one as a start, man, as far as your thoughts on the fun stuff?
I need y'all to stop this shit. You know the Ravens is finna win this game, bro.
Oh, okay.
They're going to win this game. Like,
he's not even a Ravens fan, America.
I am. No, the hell I am not.
He's not.
No, the hell I am not. But I look at that Buffalo team trying to stop the run, and they are close to Dallas in terms of the dimensions of the middle of that defense, in terms of some small linebackers that like to play in the nickel. You can't do that against the Ravens unless you jump out in front of them. If you jump out in front of them and get them out of there what they want to do, then you have a chance. But if they come out and say, hey, we run the ball, and they run the ball down their throat, and you get them out that nickel and things they want to do, it might be a long night in Buffalo. I just don't think they're built to beat the Ravens for what the Ravens want to do. The Broncos aren't a power running team. Can Bo Nix scramble? Yes. Do they want to run the ball to set the pass? Yes, but they aren't a power running team. The Ravens are getting off the bus to run the ball, and you better come prepared to stop the run and sell out to do it, and then worry about if your secondary can hold up 1-on-1. The only chance they have is if Zay Flowers cannot play or he's severely limited, but I just don't think they can stop the run. They still have Mark Andrews. Bateman quietly has filled that void the past couple of weeks without Zay Flowers. I just think it's a bad matchup for Buffalo. I really do.
Yeah. They can play keep away, all of that.
Yep.
And Josh Allen's gonna probably have not as much touches, and he's gonna force it because they're just gonna run left, right, up the middle. They're gonna give him a heavy dose of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry may have 250 yards, man, by the time it's over. He's just going to keep running and running. Lamar's going to probably –
You saw what they did to him the first time.
Yeah, 100%. So it's going to be a good game, but I don't think
it's going to be a good
Josh Tatum may not see the ball. Yeah. he's not gonna see the ball enough. I don't think that's probably going to happen with that situation. And unless we get surprised, keep away. Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, this is a game I've gone back and forth on. I think it's going to be a real competitive football game. To me, I think it's the best game of the weekend by far. I think these two teams got the best two quarterbacks that are playing this weekend, right? And so I think it's going to be a heck of a football game. I think weather is going to play a factor possibly in this game. And so, to JQ's point, you're going to have to really run the football. Look like it's going to be cold and snow for this football game. Typical Buffalo weather this time of year, right? So typical football, right? You saw the Bengals go in there and beat the Bills in that weather a few years ago, and they did it throwing the football, right? But I'm a little concerned. I mean, JQ made a lot of valid points, but I'm also not only am I concerned about the Bills defense, but I'm also concerned about the Ravens defense.
Why?
The Ravens defense has not been great this year, and their defense, they have played better down the stretch this year, but this has not been your mama and daddy Ravens defense this year. I mean, go look at the rankings. I think they're going to struggle just as much stopping the Bills as the Bills are going to struggle stopping the Ravens. I want the Ravens to win this game. I'm pulling for Lamar Jackson, just like I'm pulling for Jaden Daniels. And I know JQ says he's not, but I'm going to pick the Bills at home in this one. I'm going to say the Bills by a field goal in this one by 3 points.
Okay.
And I think both of these teams are going to struggle defensively in this football game, in my opinion.
Well, my only counter to that is in the beginning of the season they did, but Baltimore made a key move of moving Kyle Hamilton back out of the box into deep safety. And that's, I think, since week 10 or 11, they've been the number one scoring defense in the league since week 10 or 11. So the numbers are skewed because they were awful in the first half of the season, but they made that key move, and they've been really tough to score on since then. So I was like,
they're still not stopping the run.
Yeah, I'm just telling you that since week 10 or 11, they've been the number one scoring defense in the league.
Look, I hope you're right and I'm wrong because I'm pulling for the Ravens, but I just think this is going to be a tough one.
I hope you right and I'm wrong.
Wow. All right. Good stuff, man. So I'm picking the Ravens, Rob's picking the Bills, and JQ is picking the Ravens as well. So let's go in the next game. We got the Texans at the Chiefs. We do a quick recap. The Texans.
We need 30 seconds.
We know the Chiefs. Chiefs going to win this game. Chiefs going to win because we know what the NFL is trying to do. Just joking, NFL, if you're watching. Yeah. But I just want to talk about how the Texans just whipped up on the Chargers. Justin Herbert had 4 interceptions. Let me do like 3 in the regular season. He still throws 4. You're like, oh man, the Chargers, and everyone was. You may need to pump the brakes on Jim Harbaugh, but we'll talk about that later. We always go Chargers, we like them, but just a masterful game by the Texans. They just whipped the butt. Yeah, the buck stops here with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs will. There you go.
I don't even think we have to get too cute with even analysis on this game. It's just
you do. But there's only 1 point. There's 1 point, and there's 1 point only. The Chiefs might have had too much rest because they could have played their starters for at least a half against the Broncos. I know I'm a Bengals fan, I'm biased, but I say that to say that they had 10 days. Hear me out. They had 10 days from the Chiefs Broncos game. If you go backwards to when they beat the Steelers on Christmas Day, going into that Broncos game, they knew they had the number 1 seed already sold up. So in not playing anybody, they've now had 3.5 weeks where they haven't played any meaningful football. So can Houston come out and do something in that first half to jump on them when they're sluggish to make this a game? That's their only chance. I agree with you. I think Kansas City wins this game, but their only chance is to catch Kansas City sluggish and too rusty from too much rest. Outside of that, it might get ugly.
I think Kansas City, being an experienced team, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, and we all know Andy Reid's incredible record after bye weeks, right? I mean, I think he's almost undefeated in his career bye weeks, or maybe only 1 loss. I just think their experience is going to propel them in a game like this, even for the rest. I think they made the right decision from the organization. I mean, look, I would have rather seen the Bengals in the playoffs than the Steelers and the Broncos. I mean, come on. They didn't even look like playoff teams, right? And the Bengals were hot at the end of the year, won 5 in a row. They would have been a lot more competition in the playoffs.
They would beat the Bills.
Yeah, from an organizational standpoint, the Chiefs made the right decision for them, even though it hurt the Bengals per se. But I just think they're just too experienced. They were able to give Chris Jones some more rest. He's been battling an injury. They need him healthy as well.
Yep.
So I just think they're just too experienced for these kind of situations. And I think they beat the Texans by at least 10 points.
The only thing about that Andy Reid pieces is I would have to delve deeper into the numbers when they had 3.5 weeks of rest. Like you get 2 weeks, you get to buy cool. But like they basically didn't play anybody since Christmas, and they are playing them now, on the 17th, 18th. So that's a lot of rest. And I'm not saying that they are going to be bad. I'm just saying when a normal rest they get on the bye is 2 weeks. Now you're talking about 3.5 weeks. So I mean, and if you want to take a step back, I know this isn't college, but all 4 teams that had 3.5 weeks rest all lost in the college football playoffs because I think we all said this, maybe it was too much rest.
But they all lost to better teams.
Well, that could be true. No, but I think part of it is also
better teams
not playing and getting hit, and sometimes it's a shock to the system. So having said that, I think Kansas City wins this game.
Yep. Oregon lost to a better team. Arizona State lost to a better team, even though they could have won that game over Texas. Boise State was definitely an inferior opponent to Penn State. And who am I missing? And Georgia. I thought Notre Dame was clearly the better team going in that game because Georgia can't stop the run this year, right? And I mean, they couldn't. Every team they lost to, Ole Miss ran the ball down their throat. Georgia Tech should have beat them. They ran the ball down their throat.
Yep.
And even UMass ran the ball down Georgia's throat. They just couldn't beat them. Shucks, they ran for almost 200-some yards against Georgia. UMass.
Yeah. No. I mean, I got you. I'm just going off the empirical evidence after we just got from sometimes too much rest. But I still think Kansas City. I think Kansas City still wins the game though. Like, yeah.
Most of their wins, guys, have been less than 6 points, something crazy like that. Or I got to look at the stats. So, that's why it's just we'll talk.
They got everything they wanted. They banged up Houston team who's underachieved, and they let Buffalo and Baltimore have to beat each other up before they had to play one of them. They set up perfectly for themselves.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, the final game we've got.
Besides the Chiefs win the AFC, I really
yes, Lord.
Please, Lord, have mercy. Please, Lord, have mercy.
Well, unless it's Buffalo, because I don't want it to be Baltimore. That's just which devil did you hate the most? So I'm going for Buffalo. I don't want Baltimore nor Kansas City to win the AFC. So
you want Buffalo the Texans, right?
But yes. Well, I'm gonna count the Texans out because I know they're gonna lose. So I'm hanging my hopes on Buffalo. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So Rob had originally picked the Eagles to go all the way. We'll see if that still holds true, because you got the Rams at the Eagles. And this was interesting because the Rams were not expected to beat the Vikings, but we talked about the last 2 weeks collapse of Sam Darnold. Was that the real Sam Darnold? Please stand up. He didn't play that well. Because we're like, the Rams, what? We were like, I was like, whenever I was like, what the hell is going on?
Especially when they lost their home field.
Yeah, and obviously, talk about going up, obviously up to that game, but then same thing with the Eagles. Eagles, obviously with Jordan Love didn't play that good, so picked the wrong time not play well. From that, but Jalen Hurts was still, rusty, I would say, and they still able to kind of, handle business against, the Packers. But this is an interesting kind of matchup, if you will, too. So what say you on this? I mean, I think the Eagles should pull this off for sure. Rams, are they going to pull another shocker, or we know who you are this time, guys? Go ahead.
Yeah, that environment in Philadelphia is going to be so rough for them LA boys. They're not going to be able to go in that environment and deal with the not only the talent that the Eagles have on the field, but they're not going to be able to handle the environment, in my opinion, either, right? And I wasn't overly impressed with the Eagles this past week. I know I predicted them to win before the playoffs started, to win it all. But I wasn't overly impressed with them this past week against the Packers. So I don't think the Eagles played their best game. And I think you're going to see them play an even better game this week. But the same thing I said about the Lions, right? This Philadelphia Eagles offense, when you got Jalen Hurts, they're ticking, the tush push, Saquon Barkley. I mean, I don't think his name has been mentioned enough in the MVP conversation, in my opinion. You rush for over 2,000 yards. I'm sorry. You should be in the MVP conversation. Yeah. Number 2 seed in the NFC. And then when you look at what they got at the receiver position, they got Dallas Goedert back as well. And look, they got one of the better offensive lines in the league, but their defense don't get enough credit. I mean, Jalen Carter has had a hell of a season, just caving pockets in, right? Zach Bond at the linebacker position has been incredible.
Lost Dean, though.
Yeah. So what?
They lost Kobe Dean, though.
Yeah. They lost Dean, but I think they can replace Dean, though. But then their young secondary has been outstanding with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean as well, right? You still got the veteran Darius Slay back there, and their safeties are really good. I mean, I just think they're going to be too good. And the Rams defense really played good the other night against the Vikings. I'll give them a lot of credit.
Yeah, they did.
Jared Verse,
yeah, they did
on that defensive line. He's really stepping up. And the other second round pick out of Florida State too. Drawing a blank on the name. Fisk. Yeah, absolutely. Braden Fisk. And I mean, they're playing well, but I just like the Eagles in this game. I just think they're going to be, they're more talented, and I just think that home field advantage is going to propel them in this game. I see a similar point spread as like to beat the Packers, so I'm going to go with about a 10 or 14 point victory over the Rams in this one.
I don't know about 14. I can see 10. Let me just level set it with this, that Jalen Hurts, I believe, was rusty coming off not having played with the concussion. But I think we got to give that Green Bay defense more credit than people want to give them credit for. They played a fantastic game. If Jordan Love had a pulse in that game, Philadelphia might have been in trouble. But then they suffered all the injuries, to the wide receivers as that game went on.
And offensive line. The Packers are hurting on the offensive line, too.
And the offensive line. But that defense, I just want to give them some love. They played a really good game.
Excellent game.
Against Philadelphia. So I don't necessarily want to put it all on Jalen. I think he was rusty. But I think that Green Bay defense played really well. Having said that, the Rams were able to feast on Minnesota because Versa Fisk just went absolutely batshit on the Rams offensive line. And Philadelphia, if you want to say Detroit has the best offensive line, Philadelphia's a close second. Yeah. So that ability just to cave the pocket off the edges, what they did against against the Vikings. I just don't think they can do that against that offensive line for Philadelphia. And I think that opens it up. You get another week. We talk about the rust with Mahomes in Kansas City. What that looks like, that was rust also playing against a really good defensive team in the Packers. You get your game in, you get under your belt, get back in the floor of things. Again, Dallas Goedert, man, that is just abuse. When you stiff arm the same man 3 times down the sideline, like, jeez. So I think they got their wake-up call early against Green Bay. They survived that, and sometimes it comes to that. I think they beat Los Angeles by 10, but I think Nakua and Kupp give that secondary, because they're veterans, they give them a little bit more of a challenge. But I think Philadelphia still wins this game, though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you make a good point about the wide receivers for the Rams. I mean, that's one of the better duos in the league, right? And the Packers had Andre Peterson and J.Q. Jenkins playing wide receiver. And, I mean, that's who they had out there.
You know what?
And Jordan Love was working with nothing out there. His top 3 receivers were out of the game. I mean, he had some scrubs out there. And, he was working with nothing, and his offensive line was banged up. But all that being said, I agree. I just think the Eagles are going to be too strong in this game.
And shout out to Sean McVay. They didn't run the ball for like the first 11 offensive plays against Minnesota. They just came and said, you can't stop Higbee and these boys outside. We ain't even going to pretend to run this ball. We're just going to come out here and throw the ball. We're going to play action pass it, even though we all know we ain't running. Play action passes the throw. I said, damn, Sean. He just, damn.
They ran in the second half, though. Kyron Williams was running the ball down their throat in the second half.
In the second half, but they passed us up to run. And not a lot of coaches are innovative enough and
to do that,
fearful, you know what I'm saying, to take that, because if it doesn't work, you're going to get murdered. Why didn't you come out here and
disappointed in Brian Flores and his defense?
He didn't see that coming.
He didn't see a head coaching job.
His loss was going to catch him off the head coaching job, let's be honest. But that's a bold game plan, because if you do that and it doesn't work and you don't give Kyron the ball early in the game, everybody's going to say, why would you come out with that kind of game plan? So you got to give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, it's like matchups. We talk about matchups all the time. He saw something, they exploited it. Obviously didn't help that, obviously Darnold didn't play his best game either. A lot of turnovers, it just held the ball too long. It just wasn't a good game. If we go back and who would you guys like to be in the Super Bowl? I mean, we said that we don't want the same thing. We don't want to see, no offense, the Eagles
Buffalo,
Chiefs.
Detroit.
I would love to see I'd love to see something different. I just want to see like something, Baltimore, like you said, Detroit. That'd be good. Just
Buffalo, Detroit.
But
let somebody get their first ring.
Okay.
That's great storytelling.
I mean, I don't think this is going to happen, but if you ask me who I would like to see out of the 8 teams that are left, I would like to see Washington and Baltimore, Beltway.
No, you wouldn't. You know how many people going to die the next day that night? People going to die, Rob. They're going to die. You cannot let Baltimore and Washington play each other. People are going to die. No.
Get out of here, man. Don't be promoting violence on the show, man. Don't be promoting violence on the show.
Listen,
Baltimore, Washington,
I got a whole bunch of friends from the Northeast. But if you take that 95 corridor from DC to Boston, them boys is crazy. DC, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, Boston, crazy. You don't know what you're going to get when they play each other. They know it. They know it.
But shucks, I'm saying Baltimore, Washington. What if you have Baltimore and the Eagles? Same thing, right?
Wow. Let's quickly save this last part of the show, and let's let JQ do
fix it to where the Chiefs and
hey, nobody has discounted me. Listen,
the Chiefs and the Rams will be in the Super Bowl. The Rams don't have about 5 fans.
They don't. That game in Arizona didn't mean nothing. They play in LA. It's always the opposing team. But anyway, listen. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of people in France went that way. But y'all know that I-95 corridor in the Northeast is wild. They're wild.
It is crazy. I'm not gonna discount, but he said they're gonna die. Oh man, let's give JQ some love. National championship game.
I didn't promote it. I'm saying that's what I think is gonna happen. That's not promotion. That is.
Let me predicting that either.
Just because you don't want it to happen don't mean that you can't bring it up. Like,
JQ's on fire. He's on fire tonight, man.
Wait a minute.
America's name is Jake Jenkins.
Jack Davis.
Drinking too, so the liquor might be talking right now.
No, it ain't. Go back to when Philadelphia won the Super Bowl. They had to grease the light posts to keep them from climbing on them. Like that's real. That's real.
That is true. They did have to grease the light bulbs. Excuse me. That was funny. That was pretty funny. They're like, don't climb the post.
They know I'm not lying on.
High quality H2O, JQ.
Listen, I'm not lying on them. That was real things that happened.
He's not lying. He's not lying. This is funny. I didn't think you were gonna say that. That's funny. That was hilarious. Oh,
this is entertainment, America.
Let's JQ. We're gonna keep it going with you, man. You got the championship game coming up on Monday. We got Notre Dame, Ohio State. If anyone wants to donate tickets to,
I am. Well, I'm not going to get on here and predict Notre Dame is going to win. I think Ohio State has the better team. I think that it's going to be a lot closer, though. I was really shocked that spread was that high. I think it started at 9.5 and it dropped down to 8 for a second, and then went up to back to 8.5. You got to give Notre Dame a lot of credit. Like that was a wake up call when they lost. It was Southern Illinois, I think. Like week
Northern
3.
Illinois,
Northern Illinois, they're playing good ball, and I just don't know if they can come in and play man coverage like they played. I want to say they play man coverage like 55 to 60% of the time on defense, and that could work against a lot of teams. But Ohio State has a whole lot of firepower on the outside. So what do they do in this week? 7-8 days to say, hey, we have a tendency to do this. How do we mix it up? How do we confuse Howard? And then, that their defensive line. And also, they're missing their right tackle, I think, it got hurt in the game. So then you have Jack Sawyer and JCT, rushing the passer. And we saw what they could do, especially against Texas. They did against Oregon as well. But Marcus Freeman, being an ex-Buckeye, it's not, they lost both games in the head-to-head over 2 seasons ago when they had the home and home. against Ohio State. So, there's probably still people there from that. And, Marcus was there, and, he doesn't want to lose again to Ohio State. So, to me, I think it's going to be a closer game than people will give Notre Dame credit for. I think they have a solid defense. They want to run the ball, and they don't care about it. It's like Baltimore. We're going to come in here. We're going to run the ball. And that's what it's going to be. We're going to actually pass off of that. So, it's going to be incumbent on Ohio State to stop the run. I just think Ohio State just has too many athletes for them at this point. Right now, to where they can just totally shut them down like they can do to other teams. Penn State could have won that game, but Drew Aller just sucks. Like the Penn State quarterback said, it was just terrible. Drew Aller was awful.
He was horrible.
Horrible.
Throw that ball away.
Yeah.
Right.
Horrible.
Sean Clifford, Drew Aller. You got all the same. You remember that Spider-Man meme where they all pointing at each other? That's the Penn State quarterbacks over the past 13 years. They all the same guy, just pointing at each other.
I thought it was so funny when Drew Aller said, "I'm coming back for my senior year." Where do you think we were going to go? You're not going to get drafted.
Yeah, like you had a choice.
Coming back for your senior year, you better.
Right. Were you going to go to the UFL? Like, get out of here. So again, I know I'm biased, but I honestly, I really think it's going to be. I think Notre Dame watches and tries to emulate what Texas did, especially to Jeremiah Smith, to keep this game and keep everything in front of them, so Ohio State doesn't have the big explosive plays they got against Tennessee and Oregon. I think it's going to be a good ball game. I really do, but I think Ohio State wins.
Yeah, I agree. I predicted Ohio State from the start of the playoffs. I just thought they were going to be motivated, particularly after that Michigan loss. And look, I know early in the season I predicted them to lose to Oregon, but if y'all remember, I said I'm only predicting Oregon because they're at home, right?
You did.
And I actually predicted Oregon to win by 1 point, and that's all they won by, too. Was 1
you
point.
Did. I'll give you that.
Yeah, they won by 1 point. But I said I didn't think Oregon was the better team. I just think they were only going to win because they were at home, right?
Yeah.
And if they were on a neutral field, Ohio State would beat them, and that's exactly what happened in the playoffs, and it really spanked them, right? And I mean, JQ covered it well already. I mean, they're just too deep, man. You look at the running back position there, Quinjon Jenkins and Junkins, and transfer from Ole Miss, Travion Henderson. As long as Will Howard doesn't turn the football over, Notre Dame don't have a chance in this game, right? The weapons on the perimeter that Ohio State have, all the draft picks that Ohio State have on their defense, right? Notre Dame doesn't even have their best player that's going to get drafted in Benjamin Morris, right? I mean, they've been competing. You got to give Marcus Freeman a lot of credit from that standpoint too, but I just don't think they're going to be able to stay with Ohio State in this game. I actually think Ohio State wins by at least 10 points in this game. I really do. I could see something along the lines of a 27-17 or even a 30-17 Ohio State in this game. I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up from a firepower perspective. Riley Leonard, I thought he was going to play well against Georgia because Georgia can't stop running quarterbacks. And, he did. He was able to run the ball on Georgia. But this Ohio State defense, Georgia's defense was weak in the interior, and Ohio State defense is not weak in the interior. So he may have a little success, but he's not going to have the kind of success he did against Georgia in that game. I just think Ohio State's going to be too strong. And look, that Michigan game was a wake-up call for them. And, I mean, they're playing motivating football. I know you don't like to lose to Michigan, but it might have helped you win the national championship.
Listen, I'll take losing the battle here and there to win the war. Mm-hmm. And that's what this would amount to.
There it is. Mm-hmm. There it is. Don't throw any pitch plays, Notre Dame. Just want to throw that out there, by the way.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yep.
Let's wrap
this up there. He's a better play caller when he's drinking. Great man once said that.
Man. Well, we don't have to go too deep for the draft. We'll talk about, again, you posted a couple of your third round mock drafts on the Talkin Sports Facebook page. Don't forget to check us out in that arena, as well as following us on Twitter at number 12 THMAN Sports. So right now I would say 5, maybe 6 teams are in need of a quarterback. So you've got some quarterbacks going the top 2 picks according to your draft. You got Shedeur going number 1 to Tennessee. You got Cam going to Cleveland. You actually have the Giants taking Travis Hunter. They need a QB. I'm assuming you're assuming something happened. They're gonna make a trade. You got Abdul Carter going to the Patriots, and you got Will Campbell going to the Jaguars, kind of in that top 5 position. So, again, I'll let you some brief reaction. I think Tennessee is probably in the market to draft. Cleveland and the Giants, they may go. I think they may try to get quarterback in free agency, but we'll see. We don't know. It's still early so far in the game, man. So, and I'm
Deshaun Watson just got hurt again. He just hurt his Achilles.
He did.
Yeah, they definitely want to take a quarterback at 2.
That was the worst news the Giants.
So?
That was the worst news the Giants could have gotten. Then he ruptures his Achilles again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You don't think they're gonna go in the free agency? You're gonna
to
go
get
draft
who?
all the way?
After you saw Sam Darnold just suck, and Kirk Cousins to get who?
Yeah.
I'm just. How often are you gonna have that number 2 pick? I mean, you got to take a chance on them. You got to take Cam Ward right there, and the Giants are just. I mean, I think Sanders and Ward, as of right now, a lot could change between now and April. But right now, I think they're the only 2 quarterbacks that's deserving to go in the first round, right? And they go 1-2, and the Giants are just unlucky, and with the number 3 pick, and you're just gonna have to take the best player available at that point, which is Travis Hunter, right?
Gotcha.
He'll be a lockdown corner in the NFL, and he'll be a guy. I mean, I don't think he's gonna be an every down wide receiver.
He's Deion.
But he's Deion, maybe even a little more than Deion at wide receiver, right? You pair him with Malik Neighbors on a lot of possessions.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't have that franchise quarterback this year yet. Maybe this is a team that you look for a bridge guy. But, I mean, you got Travis Hunter and Malik Neighbors, and Hunter being a lockdown corner. Their defense was actually pretty decent this year.
The defense is decent. They just got put a lot of bad positions.
Yeah. That Giants defensive line was actually one of the best in the league this past year.
It was.
No doubt about it. I mean, the interior and the edge. I mean, that defensive line was incredible. And now you add a lockdown corner and Travis Hunter back there too. This is an opportunity. They're probably going to miss out on the quarterback in the draft, but
let's not say that. Do you have your QB rankings in front of you, Rob? Just outside of the top 32, but like outside of the top 2, who will be your 3, 4, and 5? If you don't have it in front of you, we can talk about it next week.
Yeah. But the third guy right now is Quinn Ewers, at number 3. And, he's right now, I got him somewhere between the 2nd and 3rd round. And even Carson Beck decided to go to Miami. And I even had him dropped all the way down to a 4th or 5th round if he would have came out this year as well. So the quarterback position has gotten a little weaker. And look, there's some scouts who are not even sold on Sanders and Ward. But I still think they go 1-2.
They go 1-2.
I still think they go 1-2 right now. They're the best 2 quarterbacks in the draft. But after that, it's just not very deep of a position at this moment. I mean, Jackson Dart, I still got him somewhere in the middle as well.
Oh, God, no.
So the quarterback position really drops off tremendously after Sanders and Ward.
So now you're trying to talk yourself into what, Gabriel from Oregon and maybe Will Howard from Ohio State?
No, come on. Those are mid-round guys at best.
I didn't say I didn't say it 2. I didn't say at the top of the 2nd round.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean there. I'm saying if you're trying to get yourself in a position where you go get like your Travis Hunter, then you stumble into what Dak Prescott was what?
5th? 3rd round. Prescott was 3rd round guy.
3rd round, okay. There was somebody that was 5th. What round was Russ?
Russ was 3rd as well.
Okay.
Okay, well, damn that. I was just trying to think if you get that person and then you let it actually fall to where they should actually fall at without them artificially rising, do you take a shot on one of those mid-tier quarterbacks if you're the Giants and hopefully roll the dice and get lucky?
Well, I think you take a shot at them, and maybe in one of those rounds, 3rd, 4th, 5th round. Yeah, I mean, I think you take a flyer on the quarterback, see what you can do as far as development. But I wouldn't go in the season expecting him to be a starter next year. You'll be in trouble.
Yeah, no, I know, but if I was Giants, I would never have given Sam Darnold big money anyway, because I figured Sam Darnold was going to always come back to Sam Darnold, right? So Kirk Cousins came back to Kirk Cousins. So you look at it like, well, damn. And are we now talking ourselves into Russell Wilson if Pittsburgh let him go, or Justin Fields? What's really out there for you to go get?
Yeah. And look, teams are going to take a chance on those guys, right? There are going to be some scouts who's going to look at Sam Darnold and say, man, look at his first 15 games of the season this year and not the last 2 games of the season. Somebody's going to pay Sam Darnold. Trust me. I'm not saying it's justified.
think it's Minnesota. I think he
Yeah.
saves. I think they save money. They either franchise him again or they give him one of those Baker deals.
Yeah, they can franchise him for getting $40 million. They could do that.
If
They
Minnesota decides to keep Darnold, keep in mind JJ McCarthy, right? What is Minnesota going to do with him? He becomes some trade bait, possibly, right? So you got to look at that as well, right? You know, if Minnesota decides to keep Darnold, JJ McCarthy was a number 9 overall pick in the draft last year.
Yep.
So I mean, obviously there are a lot of teams that look at if a guy is getting drafted at the 9th pick of the league, he's a guy that most scouts look at as a future NFL starting quarterback, right? Or maybe even starting quarterback now, right? Coming off an injury, though, of course. So he'll have some value in the trade. Now, what team's going to want to give up for him? If I'm the Giants, I wouldn't give up my first round pick I would take Travis Hunter, and even got to wait on the quarterback.
I agree. If I was them, and hear me out, I would look at trading maybe one of those mid-round picks and trying to either get Malik Willis from Green Bay, who has showed well, and filling in for Jordan Love. And real quiet, like Joe Milton didn't look bad in that game against Buffalo, where he had some good plays in there, and people were trying to talk themselves into it. Like, you don't have to spend crazy money on him, a mid-round pick. These are guys that have been in the NFL that understand what it takes to be where they are versus a dude coming out of college for that same value of that draft pick. I'm really interested in those two because Malik Willis, Jordan Love, he kept Green Bay afloat, and people aren't talking about it.
I agree.
Like they could have not made the playoffs when Jordan Love got hurt in game 1, right? So I wonder how much that resonates with the NFL scouts and decision makers. Because I mean, I'd rather have somebody young that can try to mold versus getting Kirk Cousins or Sam Darnold.
The other thing about Kirk Cousins is that I don't think he's fully healed. So again, you're still almost 40. We get that, but still, it's gonna be tough. Tough road. 100%.
It's hard to talk to your fans into Kirk Cousins when he got benched.
Y'all forget the
100% agree.
He's already in New York. Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
Aaron Rodgers is washed up. He needs to retire. I'm being facetious,
but even if he's not, the drama comes with him at 40 and 41. It's just so much.
Prima donna.
Too much. Mm-hmm. But don't worry, guys. Kyle McCord declared for the draft, by the way. So just wanted to let you know that.
Sorry.
So back I knew that was going to set off JQ. I'm sorry.
Listen, you know what?
A lot of scouts like him, though. I will say that. He's looking like a mid-round pick right now.
Because there was no pressure. Nobody expects you to go to Syracuse and do anything. You're playing with house money. When they drafted the NFL, you're no longer playing with house money. So if you want to talk yourself into Kyle McCord, you do that.
You talk about
you play at NC State,
interesting quarterback,
and Wake Forest and shit like that. Like ain't nobody expecting nothing. There's no pressure there. So, I mean, you got one in Clemson, and the Miami defense was trash. I mean, and they still beat them. They beat Miami. So, I mean, it's you do that. I wish all the best for Kyle McCord. I'm just not a believer.
I didn't mean to get you hyped for that too.
No, I mean
we'll see how this plays out.
He finished 10th in the Heisman voting.
Yeah. The only thing that's crazy. The only thing I'm gonna say, and
like nobody talks about that. I saw that and was like, wait, what? This is never finished 10th?
Wow.
Well, you look at his stats; he had a phenomenal year. But I think he's somewhere. He's going to get drafted. No doubt about it. I mean, he actually wanted to come back to school, but he didn't get approval for another year. He wanted to come back to school and improve his draft stock even more. But he's going to get drafted. He's going to be somewhere in those mid rounds.
Yeah,
he's going to be a guy teams are going to take a flyer on and see what they can develop out of him. There's no question about his arm talent. It's JQ made the point about competition, so that's going to be the factor right there, right? They're going to want to look at the film and see how he played against teams like Clemson, teams with some NFL talent on the defensive side of the football. But he'll be a mid-round pick for sure.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, like I said, again, definitely check out the Facebook page because Rob does a phenomenal job. And just posting stuff in the mock draft. Obviously, JQ brings the heat as always, man. So we appreciate you just bringing just this element of like just
I saw that
keeping us on our toes.
Like you have fun with Kyle McCord.
Hey, Rob, I'm not going to get you hyped, but it is interesting because, they were saying that Derek Carr is not going to take a pay cut, man. So maybe that changes for you guys as well, too, man. So he may be somebody to think about, too, in the market. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
He's going to be back with the Saints next year. What he said is,
I think so.
He said he's not taking a pay cut, but he's willing to restructure his contract. I mean, shucks. That's what all the quarterbacks do. They just restructure the contract, move money around. So I think people blew that out of proportion, really. But yeah, he's going to be back with the Saints.
It's better to stay with the devil. Better to stay with the devil that you know than the one you don't. Because again, if you move on from him, you're going to start Spencer Rattler for 17 games.
No,
have fun with that.
Yeah, and the Saints did not win any games without Derek Carr this year. So anybody that thinks that we can find somebody better than Derek Carr right now is foolish. Not at the number 9 pick.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they didn't win any games without
that's
Derek
a
Carr this year.
Yeah. You thought he was going to drop, but there's not. Yeah, it's just the way that everything kind of played out. It's just going to be interesting. The Raiders, they're going to lose out, apparently. Giants, Anyway, So anything last, gentlemen, you want to say as we get ready to wrap up? We are on for a good close to an hour, so we thank you, everyone, for putting up with our thoughts, our musings, our comeback show for 2025, as always. But any last things to talk about, I will throw it to you guys for sure. Go ahead, JQ.
Shit. Come on, Los Angeles.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I'm just tired of LeBron wasting away in LA. Him and AD just dying on the vine with that foolishness they have happening. But outside of that, I'm out here praying that nobody wants to pay $2,000 for these tickets and they come down. So I'm going out. Outside of that, I'm
only $2,000.
You're gonna pay it, JQ.
Only $2,000. I can sponsor you. I can sponsor you, JQ. I can sponsor you, JQ. You want that, man? You want
man, listen.
One ticket.
We're not gonna put that out there. I'm a grown man.
Somewhere cursing Andre out right now.
What'd you say, Rob?
What'd you say, Rob? Cursing Andre out right now.
I'll sponsor JQ.
No. We grown. We don't do stuff like that. I'm gonna go on my own. I ain't gonna go at all.
Come on, man. I mean it like that. I'm just saying.
I know. I appreciate you, but I mean, piece of me is like, do I want to deal with it? But I do. So let me stop lying. I do. I just don't want to get that kind of money. So, like I said, we'll see. I'll let you know next week.
Yep.
Hey, Rob,
got it on the mock draft. Got the Bengals taking Luther Burton III, wide receiver from Missouri.
You don't. Stop that.
Got some question marks.
Stop it. We can't keep Joe Burrow upright and we can't get no sacks. So you're going to have us take a wide receiver? Really?
You think they're going to have T. Higgins?
They going to, man, listen. When he resigned, when he fired his agent and got Jamar's agent, something is working in the background unless the Bengals totally just F that up.
Now, if they re-sign T. Higgins, then yes, this pick goes out of the window. But right now, this mock, they're going to want another weapon for Joe Burrow.
How you going to give him the ball if he can't stand up straight?
Huh?
How you going to give him the ball if he can't stand up straight?
Joe Burrow just had the best passing stats in the league practically.
I understand that.
Offensive line.
And, right? and every week we go here, we say, damn, how better can Joe Burrow be?
Defense, number one, too. But they're going to want to still have a high-flying offense if they lose T. Higgins. Now, this pick goes out of the window if they pick T. Higgins. I agree with you there. If they're able to sign T. Higgins, right? And then they can go out and address the offensive line and address the defensive side of the football. I think they need to address the defensive side of the football even more than the offensive line, in my opinion.
Man, yeah, and I would agree with that. So when you said Luther Burton, that's why I was like, what?
Hey, they lose they lose a star wide receiver. T. Higgins is still a star receiver. Now he's not Chase, of course.
No,
but
I agree.
You that's going to be a huge chunk of that offense, right? And so if I'm the Bengals, I'm going to do everything I can to take care of T. Higgins. But as of this mock today, we don't know if T. Higgins is going to be back, right? And so we'll see what happens. I got the Falcons taking James Pierce,
Rob.
Edge rusher from Tennessee.
Hold that thought really quickly. I got the perfect scenario for the Bengals. Hey, you got an extra draft pick. We'll give you Kyle Pitts, man. So that's a great situation.
Nonsense.
You don't have to worry about
T. Higgins.
There you go,
that's
man.
Nonsense.
Don't throw that out there. Go ahead. I saw a couple of those things like, what?
Negative. Our Bengals be so stupid to make that trade.
That would not happen.
Shut up, man. Shut up. Go ahead, Rob. Who you got the Falcons?
We got him taking James Pierce Jr., edge rusher from Tennessee. And I got the Saints taking Mikael Williams, edge rusher from Georgia, at number 9. So that's where we are right now on this latest mock. Now, this mock is about 2 weeks old, so I'm overdue for a new one.
You got to set up Bozeman,
all these Falcon fans are hoping that.
So you got to set up Bozeman,
all the Falcons fans.
Montana State Bobcats.
A lot of Falcons fans. I'm excited, Rob. All the Falcon fans are thinking like, Walker's going to fall and all that stuff too. As far as like a lot of those Georgia guys, I don't think they're going to fall that far. I don't know.
Jelon Walker. I got him going 13 in Miami right now. There's just 2 picks ahead of Atlanta. Yeah, he's a little light though. I think he'll be better in the 3-4 defense as an edge rusher. I mean, he's a little light, but he does bring some speed around the edge for sure. Yeah.
So that's what we'll see how it plays out. That's a couple I knew we're picking 15. They're like, we're gonna get Walker. Like, I don't think he's gonna fall. A couple of these Georgia guys, I don't know if they're gonna fall that far. So Pierce may be the best one for you at that. So he's marked to the Atlanta a lot, man. So I don't know. We'll see.
Pierce, I mean, he's got great length. He's got long arms. I mean, he's gonna have to get a little stronger though at the next level. But man, he's got quickness and he's got the arm length that they like at that edge. So I mean, they're just gonna have to beef him up a little bit, for the next level. But I mean, I like James Pierce a lot.
I do too. I went back from flipping Cincinnati. Cincinnati, don't draft nobody from Michigan. Don't do it.
And Michigan got a lot of good defensive players in this draft. Mason Graham, defensive tackle. Will Johnson,
Nick Martindale,
Michigan. Kenneth Grant. I mean, they got some really good defensive players that all 3 of them going to get picked in the first round.
I said what I said.
You don't want to win or you don't want to win. Hey.
Listen, we weren't winning with Chris Jenkins in the middle of that damn defensive line for us either.
I don't like Georgia. I don't like Alabama. I don't like Duke basketball. But if they're the best players, I want them.
I want to find the other best players from another school.
Wow. On that note, thank you for listening to another amazing issue of Talkin Sports with the 12 men.
Happy New Year.
We are signing off. Please be safe, guys. JQ's got the Ohio State. Gary, much love for you, man.
Yes, prayers for Los Angeles and the fires. Praying for everybody over there. Be safe.
100%.
For sure.
100%. Be safe out there. And until the next time. Gentlemen, it was a pleasure. Thank you for the shout out. Shout out to the lovely wifey. I know she was watching, Marcy.
Let's go, Marcy.
Take care. Marcy. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. A lot of love. Peace out.